when Omar asked me, no, let me rephrase. When Omar invited me to a party at his house where there was beer involved and then asked me, would you do me a favor? And then waited for 2 more beers to go by before, of course, when he said, would you do me a favor? I said, sure. 2 more beers went by and he said, well, let me tell you about that favor. Could you come and speak at the District 2 conference? Sometimes I make mistakes. Not going to say whether that was necessarily a mistake or not, but I'm a lot more careful with things that I volunteer for. Another mistake was when he sent me a list of topics, he said, you should do humor. I said, okay. But I'm not funny. However, I am super observant. And I'm good at noticing stuff. I'm observant, and I'm a storyteller. Well, I'm a Toastmaster. We have to be a storyteller. I'm also a wicked good cook, which has nothing to do with anything, except my food is delicious. I also have a secret weapon, though. So I'm not funny, but I have a handy sidekick. No, it's not a radio. My sidekick is my 12-year-old son, Grover, and he is my horrible, rotten little tape recorder with horrible timing. And he's a great listener. Do you remember the last time you heard, we need to talk? Did you feel the fear, the seizing in your chest? Your face goes hot. Your ears feel like they're going to burst into little tiny flames? My son can do that with 3 little words. My mom said, most recently we were actually hanging out at Omar's house. It wasn't the party, it was another time. And he said, tell me the truth. What did your mom say about me? Mom says you're a bully. You know the Omar I'm talking about. It's not like it's untrue. But the context wasn't quite there. I said he's a bully in the best way. He gets me to do things that I wouldn't normally do. He challenges me as a business coach. And he's a bully about it, but that's not what Grover said. My son, I found out when he was very young, horribly, wonderfully, deliciously, delightfully, terrifyingly funny. It's August. It's super hot. We're at the ball field. I'm sitting on the bench with my team, the St. John Sluggers. I play softball with my church softball team. We're getting ready to go up to bat. I'm next. Off in the distance, I could see a couple of kids and a guy on a bike coming toward the ball field. And I'm squinting. I'm not as young as I used to be, trying to figure out who is that? Who is that? Because he's waving, and I'm thinking, oh, it's a guy waving. Been single a long time. Oh, it's Father Eric and his kids. I didn't recognize him with his clothes on. What I meant was, I didn't recognize him without his collar and in street clothes. I'm up to bat. I have 2 strikes, 3 balls, full count. But I've seen the balls, I've got my eye on, I know what pitch is coming, and I am ready. It's slow pitch, they're all saying. I am ready. My mom said, there's my son talking to Father Eric on the bleachers, and I'm so excited to hear what he said next. Hi, Father. My mom said she didn't recognize you with your clothes on. Struck out. Facebook. If you find me on Facebook, no, let me rephrase. When you find me on Facebook, you'll find that I do a lot of posting about my kid, because he's funny and I'm not. Do you think I'm popular on Facebook because I'm funny? Because I'm cute? Because I take a wonderful selfie? I do, though. No, they come to find out what shenanigans Grover has been up to. By the way, my sidekick also has a Facebook page, although I run it because he's under 13. He likes Star Wars. When you look at my Facebook, my personal Facebook page, you're going to find posts about my kids. You're going to find that I follow a few rules. I avoid several things. Can I say this? Religion, politics, race, negativity, and ranting. You want to avoid those. Usually. And there are some guidelines that you want to stick to depending on who your audience is. Use sparingly food and alcohol, your kids, and sports. I don't care if the Seahawks are in football, nobody wants a play-by-play on game day. Unless you're a sportscaster, in which case. I do tend to break these rules myself. Obviously I talk about my kid. I'm a good cook. I talk about my food. You're there on Facebook, or you should be there on Facebook, to make real connections. And the way that you make real connections with people, and Greg touched on it earlier, is through authenticity. Well, what is authenticity? It could mean different things to different people. To me, authenticity is being who you are, and where you are, and what you are, whether you're on Facebook or whether you're IRL, in real life. Use honesty and humility. Combine honesty and humility, that's where you touch the emotions. And then add some humor. Get yourself a sidekick. Mine happens to be adopted. Y'all can adopt a sidekick. I can't guarantee he'll be as funny as mine. But Grover did tell me one day recently, he said, "Are you sure I'm adopted? Because we're the same kind of weird." He's right. Connecting in a real way through authenticity, using honesty and humility, hitting those emotions, you're going to come up with stories that connect. Recently at the District 32 conference, I'm a part of District 32, we had World Championship speaker from 96, I think, David Brooks, and he talked about the different emotions that you want to touch when you're telling a story. And we're all storytellers, we're Toastmasters. And if you're on social media, you're going to be a storyteller. I'll come back to that. So last year, my son came home from school and he said, "Mom, are we Democrats or Republicans?" Okay, so here's a rule breaker, and you know I put this on Facebook. Politics. Well, honey, that's something you're going to decide when you get older. Why do you ask? Well, we were talking about it in school today, and I said I didn't know, but that we're Episcopalian. Good kid. He's right. We are. Go Sluggers. Because we love wine. So not only do I enjoy a naked priest, I also am an alcoholic. But sometimes in these cases, you just have to own it. Our priest is handsome. We do like the wine, but I did have a talk with him, in all seriousness. I did have a talk with him about the sanctity of sacramental wine. I swear. If you want to know more about hashtags, a lot of you probably already are using them today. Hopefully, if you want to learn more about those, just Google Jimmy Fallon hashtag. The gigglers have seen it already. Breaking the rules. So I broke the rules when it came to my personal Facebook page. So let's hop over to business. I do have a business Facebook page, and I know that Greg talked about maybe not seeing the importance of it, and for a long time I didn't have a business Facebook page as the personal page. I did a lot of building, authentic communication and building of friendships, meeting people in person, connecting with them on Facebook. So eventually I did start a business page, and what you'll find most of there is inspirational, motivational. 95% of what you'll find there is inspiration, motivation, and humor, and only about 5% selling. Has anyone ever heard this phrase before? One person? Are you kidding me? Everybody has heard this phrase. Usually, it's not personal, it's business. That is false. This is social media. Everything is personal. In the age of social media, everything is personal. To have business, to get business, to be a business or an organization, it has to be personal. Does that look familiar? This is the same tool, the same formula. Authenticity through humility, honesty, touching emotions, you're going to come up with stories that sell. Here's a couple of, in a minute, there's a couple of examples. Connecting emotionally through humor is important because you have to understand, work in opposites. So you have funny, humor, laughter, joy, and you have fear and pain. And people purchase generally, or will buy what you're selling, or will listen to what you're saying based out of fear and pain. It's your job as a business and organization to find a solution for their pain. Here's an example of a client, of one I put together for a client of mine. This is also true of myself, unless I'm running to first base. What's the pain here? It's body image, it's personal image. You can feel bad about yourself. And the solution is fitness. So the pain is I'm not happy with me, and the solution is get healthy, and then I'll be more happy with me. That may or may not be true. My client liked it. What about this one? This is for a client that is they will connect you with the right job for you. So what's the pain here? You hate your job. You hate your job, and the solution is happiness. I hate my job. I don't like what I'm doing. It's painful to go to work. Recently, I quit my job and started my own business back up. I had Synergy Creative a few years back. I went and worked for a company who wanted me to do for them, and only them, what I was doing for other clients. And I went and worked for him, and then had a pretty major life change and decided, I don't want to work for somebody else anymore. I want to be happy. I want to do what I want to do. So when you're making real connections, whether you're on Facebook or social media, I'm actually all over social media. I spend most of my time, for myself and for my clients, using Facebook. But the method is the same, whether you're selling or connecting. You have to connect to be able to sell. This was me before Toastmasters. I was not a speaker, but I am a writer. Part of my job is copywriting. I can suggest an organization that can help you with that. to summarize, and Greg hit it so well this morning when he talked about being authentic. Be you. If you're posting pictures of your beautiful Hawaii vacation and your phone logs you in Gorst, Washington, you might not be quite as honest and authentic as you would hope to be. Be observant. Become or be a storyteller. Get yourself a sidekick, somebody else's kid, or a pet, or someone you know who is super funny, but not me, and not my kid because he's alive. It's been my honor to be here today. I wish you a prolific rest of your afternoon.
Thank you, Rebecca. You know, she's right about getting a sidekick. I had a Facebook page for a long time, and I don't think I ever got any likes. And I had a picture of me in my profile, and then I decided to, on one day on a whim to change it, and I stuck a picture of me with my cat on my shoulder. And I didn't even think about it, but suddenly I started getting likes and likes and likes and likes, and wow, people really like my cat.